The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Zucker. Welcome to the program for this 15th day of June. Father's Day weekend and all that. And so I have finished the first week of my limited National League replay from 1993. You saw the opening game. It's like Montreal and Cincinnati, I think. And so I said to myself, and I watch others actually do league replays or bigger projects like that outside of the old Action PC season-long replay. So this is in Stratomatic, and so in 1993 there were 4 teams that contended for the 2 playoff spots in the National League. In the East, it's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Montreal Expos, and despite what the Phillies fans say, well, we had them all the way over the Montreal Expos. The Expos finished within a handful of games of the Phillies, and both teams, I think, have a reasonable chance to win. We'll get into This Is the Week That Was in a few minutes. They're both good teams. They both have their strengths, and they both have some weaknesses, and we'll get into that as we go through. In the National League West, it's the last time a 100-win team didn't make the playoffs, as the Atlanta Braves and San Francisco Giants battled all year for the National League West crown, coming down to the last day of the season. The Braves won 104. The Giants won 103. The Giants went home. The Phillies beat the Braves, Io, the Dario, the Farmer, and the Dell. So we are playing every game of those 4 teams' seasons, and I have finished the first week of said season. And it's been an interesting one, to say the least. And so if you're quite ready, let's go back. How about that? It's time almost for This Week in Baseball. So let's get right to it as far as the standings are concerned. After 1 week, so I've played, these 4 teams have yet to play each other. So I've done all these games out. The Phillies are 4-2, 1 game off their regular season pace. They went 97-65. The Expos were 1 game better than their real life pace, so they're at a 4-way tie with Philadelphia and St. Louis. And the expansion Florida Marlins, what kind of crazy sim is that the Marlins are contending even after 1 week? The Mets aren't very good. The Cubs, I think I've played every Cub game. I think they played, well, we'll get to that. Cubs weren't a bad team. So if you look at the standings in real life on the right there, Phillies by 3 over Montreal, and then 10 over St. Louis and 13 over Chicago. The Mets, by the way, were worse than the Marlins. The Mets seem to have broken apart. We'll get to that as we go through the season. In the West, the Giants are 4-2, and they are a really good team. In fact, they're a game up where they were. The Dodgers are 4-3. Scotty Howard will be happy about that. The Braves, well, we'll get to why they're 3-4. They started off 5-2. They really should be 2-5. It was not a good week for the Braves. So the Braves are 2 games off the pace. San Francisco is 1 game ahead of the pace. Phillies are 1 game off the pace, and the Expos are +1 off the pace. So we will now go through. So those are the standings. The Braves went 1-3. The Dodgers took 3 out of 4 at home. They've opened up, I think, in Chicago and took 2 out of 3 there. Let's see. PHN 1-2 at the Vet, 3-0 on the road. San Francisco has yet to play a home game. They're 4-2 on the road, and Montreal has yet to play the Big O. They are 4-2 on the road. So that's that for that. Let's get to the week that was. We'll start with Atlanta. I have done all the Cubs games because I forgot. So the Braves started their season with a 6-2 win in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Greg Maddux, man, he is fun. He is so much fun. 8 innings, a 6-2 win, the 4 runs, pretty much Ron Gant. Gant had a double in this one. Gant is all that in a bag of chips. He's off to a flying start. So 6-2 was opening day. Maddux over Mike Morgan. 8 hits and 2 strikeouts. Steve Bedrosian, he's back with the Braves. How about that? He's not their closer. I will tell you right out that the Braves' biggest problem is bullpen. Cubs, not too bad. Morgan, 6 2/3. He walked 6 and struck out 6. The next day at Wrigley Field, Tom Glavine, 8 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. A lone home run. Jeff Blau, that gave up 3. Jeff Blauser, it was actually 5-0 in the ninth. Hit a homer and 2 doubles. How about that? Fred McGriff, his first of the year, and David Justice. So the Braves do have some pop. Man, their starting pitching is something special. Glavine and McMichael got 2/3 of an inning. They beat Greg Hibbard, who allowed 10 hits over 7 1/3. Dan Plesac, not a great year for Dan Plesac. That card is scary if you're a Cubs fan. And Lieutenant Frank Castillo gave up the 2 shots, I believe, to McGriff and Justice. And they needed that because the Braves almost blew it. I tried to get Glavine the complete game win. Did not work. McMichael got charged, I believe, with allowing all of Glavine's runs to score. And then the bottom falls out for Atlanta. Not a great close to the series. John Smoltz, 9 hits through 7. He walked 5, struck out 7. Kent Merker, 3 runs in 1/3 of an inning. You gotta love April numbers, and Mark Waller's got him out of there. Jose Guzman, a 3-hitter. Walked 2, struck out 6. Pendleton, Lemke, and Deion Sanders had the hits. And if you're a Cubs fan, you'll take that. 1 and 2. They have a better weekend coming up. So the Braves go home after a rough weekend, a rough opening week at Wrigley, even though they won 2. These are the ones that they're going to need. When we get to the Giants, you'll see why. So a 4-game set in Atlanta against the Dodgers to start the home portion of the season. Steve Avery, and again, my gosh, that is a strong opening 4. Avery, 7 innings, 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. Who hit the homer for the Dodgers? Eric Davis, who I forgot was with the Dodgers, homered. And Mike Piazza, who was a genuine pain in the tushy if you were playing against the Dodgers. He hit his 2nd of the year. Tim Wallach, who I forgot came over from the Montreal Expos, one of the best defensive third basemen, completely underrated. And then the Braves had Fred McGriff. So McGriff had a 2-run shot. That was a lone bright spot for the Braves. That came in the 6th. Ron Gant, again, 2 for 4. This Braves team has some speed. So Pete Smith took the loss. Got nailed. He gave up 2 of the homers. And then Jay Howell got the last out. Jim Gott takes the save, a second. Kevin Gross, 8 strong innings for the Dodgers. The Braves fall to 2 and 2. Then the Braves fall to 2 and 3. We went 12 innings in this one before the Braves fall. Greg Maddux, I brought him back on short rest. Probably, again, I have it set for super advanced, but really no fatigue, except for when they get tired in the game. So theoretically, you can go anyone at any time, anywhere. And Maddux went 8 strong. He struggled early. He gave up that home run to, who was it, Karros or Piazza? Anyway, the 6-3, both 3 after 9. The Dodgers just kind of played some small ball. Eric Karros with the game-winning home run. So it was Piazza that homered off of Maddux. Bedrosian, 2 strong innings. Again, he's going to be key for them. And Mark Wohlers, the game winner, he came out to pitch the 11th and 12th, and Eric Karros happened to him. 4 hours and 17 minutes. This was the Friday night game. Gant hitting .350 in the early going. Pedro Estacio, good effort, 7 innings, 5 hits. Gave it the 3 runs, and Trilisic blew the save. Must be that Estacio had put the runners on. Omar Dahl gives you 2 innings. If you look up Omar Dahl in 1993, that should have been advantage Braves. And Roger McDowell over from the Mets, 2 innings for the win. So the Dodgers are 3 and 2. The Braves are 2 and 3. It's not to start. The Braves won at home. Deion Sanders singled and scored. And then, my goodness, Pete Smith gets absolutely rocked on a Saturday afternoon. Hitting in 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. He walked 5. I hate those games. I absolutely hate those games because although the bullpen doesn't really have any fatigue, the game only gives you so many players, and you got to make do with what you got. And Kent Merker a good 4 1/3. Then Jay Howell had 2, and then Mike Stanton gave up 2 at the end. It was garbage time. Oral Hershiser. That's not the world's best season for Oral Hershiser. He went 7 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. Trilochick and McDowell again, and no Braves home runs. And again, Ron Gant is just crushing it, and you can see that box score there. Now, Braves had lost 3 straight. Actually, the Braves had lost 4 straight until Ron Gant struck. Ron Gant drove in all 5 runs. Tom Glavine and Tom Candiotti locked up in a duel. It was 2-2 after 9. Ron Gant, a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. He homered twice and hit a double. He has 12 RBI in the first week of the season. 12! That's impressive. Mike Stanton gets the win. Who takes the loss but a young Pedro Martinez, who had all sorts of innings to be able to blow through, and he got out 1 batter. So that is the Braves' week. That was. Now, so after 7 games, the Braves 3-4, not what they'd wanted for sure. They've left on. They're averaging 3.43 runs. They give up a ton, and so that's not what they want. So let's go through their stats. Ron Gant, again, 379, 2 homers, 12 RBI, 4 doubles. He is their offense. They're hitting 190. I didn't realize that. They're hitting 199 as a team. They do have good speed. They stole 6 bases on the week, and I'd call all those. And the 2 thrown out trying to steal. They've committed 3 errors. Now, here's the pitching. The Braves, if they're going to win this division, need to do better than that. Glavine and Maddox are good, so we'll go with Smoltz and Avery for the next time through. But after that, McMichael had the lone save. Howell, I think, can save games too. So I've used everybody. But their pitching, again, has been mediocre. 66 innings and 69 hits. And we'll just put these up, and you can do what you want. 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter. We did convert on the only save opportunity of the week. Wow. Braves pitchers only had to bunt once this week. That's pretty good, which means that they didn't get on base. As the Braves pitchers are hitting better than the team. They hit 214 this first week of the season. Tom Glavine, 2 for 6. Just in case you want to see those. Oops, nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to expand this. Ron Gant, half a WAR for that. Not too bad. And Tom Glavine is 0.7 WAR. But the Braves are pretty much playing neutral baseball. That's not going to get it done because when you see the Giants in a moment, they are a tough customer. Defensively, they're pretty good. They've only made the 3 errors. We've had 41 X chances. 29 of them have resulted in outs. Ron Gant is a 4 out there in left field. He is absolutely hopeless. Oh, that's scary stuff. David Berryhill's their catcher. And this is their regular fielding. Their starters have pitched well, 7 games and earned an average of 386, and they're 2-2. Their relievers, not so great. 1-2 in 17 innings and an earned run average of close to 6, and they've allowed 3 home runs. You can pause the video to see. That. Oh, that's not going to help. And that's the line score. So they've already played 2 extra inning games. And since it's 93, it is a 13 against your division and 12 against the other. So that's not how you want to start against the Dodgers. We'll leave that one up for a second. And so there's a daily log. Again, doesn't mean anything. We've only played a handful of games, but 3 and 4, not the way you want to start the week. 2 out of 3 at Wrigley, and losing 3 of 4 to the Dodgers, including, however, 2 in extra innings in that. So we showed you how the Braves did. How about San Francisco? All on the road. Man, the Cardinals are a shell of their former selves. So San Francisco goes into St. Louis to start the season. This lineup is loaded. Look, you got Will Clark, Matt Williams, Barry Bonds, and then Willie McGee. And they can all just pound. Bill Swift, I forgot he was with San Francisco. He loses the opener 3-1, and Mike Jackson goes the 8th for the win. Bob Tewksbury, who had such good control, strikes out 4 over 9. No home runs in this one. Greg Jeffries is with the Cardinals. The Mets gave up on some people and way too early. Jeffries wasn't a Hall of Famer by any stretch, but he was in that career of the Hall of Decent. And he made the Giants pay on opening day. So 3-1, 2 errors for the Giants to start the season. Mark Carrion, boy, he's got a good card too. He's going to be coming off the bench for the Giants as well. And then the Giants start to win. They shut out the Cardinals 4-0 the second day of the season. John Burkett, a 4-hitter, strikes out 7. Will Clark hits his first of the year, goes 4 for 5, and drives in 3. And oh yeah, they can steal some bags too. Arocha, who I don't remember, decent outing for St. Louis. McGrain, at this point, towards the end of his career, as far as I can remember, goes out of the pen, and then Les Lancaster goes the 9th for St. Louis. So that's how the Giants are going to do this. They're going to do it through pitching, and the fact that 3, 4, and 5 is just absolutely loaded. Clayton is a good shortstop. And again, Jeffries 2 for 3. So the Giants got the split. And then they take the series with a 6-4 win. Barry Bonds hits a home run. I mean, look at that. Clark, Williams, and Bonds 5 for 14 in the ball game. 6-4 winners. Wilson 6 innings, doesn't get a decision. Dave Burba picks up the wood. Hicker said that the Giants have Rod Beck, who is just lights out. That card there. Omar Oliveras pitched okay. Les Lancaster did not. Donovan Osborne pitched all right. Who hits the home runs? Barry Bonds and Greg Jeffries hits his first, or hits their first of the year. So good for San Francisco. They go to St. Louis. They take 2 out of 3. And then what do the Giants do? They go to Pittsburgh. Are the Pirates glad to see Barry Bonds? Oh no, I'm sure that was not a happy reunion. What's Barry Bonds do? His first time up back in Pittsburgh, he homers. I love when that happens with the dice. 5-1 winners. Bud Black 6 2/3. He walked 5, which kind of tired him out. Then Kenny Rogers is there. Love will turn you around, picks up the hold, and then Mike Jackson over from Seattle. So the Giants bullpen is pretty solid. Tim Wakefield, yep, the hero from 92. His card isn't all that good, so he's the one that gave up the home run to Bonds in front of 29,516. Then Porter Wagner off the country music tour to get nailed. And so 5-1, the Giants pound out 15 hits. And Barry Bonds is struggling, but still 3, 4, and 5. 5 for 13. Can they hit? Yes, they can. The hitting continues the next day as Hickerson, who I don't remember at all, 6 1/3 to get the win in a 7-5 game. Rogers and Jackson again. Mike kind of gave up a couple runs late to make it close, but it really was a one-side affair. Randy Tomlin couldn't even make it out of the second. Again, I'm playing both teams as I play these, and I am playing them straight up. You hate it when the starter gets shelled as Otto, Wagner, and Johnston. Must be I like those cards because they got used again. Kind of a light day for only the one homer, and that was Kurt Manwaring or Robbie Thompson. Anyway, Will Clark is hitting 476. And Mark Carrion in right field. So you got Carrion and Willie McGee platooning pretty much with each other off the bench. So the great start for the Giants. Pittsburgh coming off that pennant. King and Bell are just genuine pains in the tushy. That's about their offense, though, for Pittsburgh. They will not be a contender. And always weird when you have the 1-0 game. So the last game of the series, the Pirates salvaged one. The double CG, Bill Swift, he's 0-2 with an earned run average of 120. He finally gave up a run, struck out 7. Zane Smith, a 3-hitter. Williams, Carrion, and Manwaring. And so the Pirates salvage one. The Giants are 4-2. That's what you want if you're San Francisco. Good, solid pitching. And again, we'll go complete games if we want. I am doing, you see that Tom Prince, the A there for the Pirates, came in for Don Slott. I didn't start with this the first day of the season or so, but if you roll an injury and you got a replacement on the bench, I'm taking you out for that game just to get some of the bench players in. So Don Slott rolled for an injury and got it. I know we did that for Ryan Sandberg in one of those games. So the Giants 4-2 all on the road and all against teams in the East, and they're averaging 3.83 runs a game and only allowing 2.33. So the Giants pitching is solid. The Giants offense is loaded. I can see how you can win 110 games with this team. Because if Barry Bonds has only hit 182 and you go 4-2, that's pretty good. Will Clark 417 for the week. Kurt Manwaring 409 with Bonds leading the team in home runs. Not much of a stealing threat there. They don't need to. And Burkett with a shutout and Bill Swift there. Again, 15 innings. He's allowed 2 earned runs and is 0-2. And not all those pitchers would pitch over the course of the year. In fact, we only had to use Rod Beck once. You're going to win a lot of ball games with an earned run average of 173. And there's the secondary numbers. Again, only one save. The Giant pitchers hit 154. Bad week for Royce Clayton. His WAR is minus .2. So Clark and Manwaring, the players of the week. And pitching-wise, John Burkett almost got a 1 WAR for that shutout. Giants bullpen's good. 5 runners on off with Kenny Rogers, and only 1 has scored. That's going to win you some ball games. Fielding-wise, we had 31 fielding chances, and they converted 23. Will Clark made 3 errors at first base. I don't have to look to see what his card is. I don't remember it being that bad. That outfield is pretty good. Yeah, 9.45 fielding percentage. They hit the ball relatively well. 4 home runs on the week. And their starting pitching, 6 starts, 43 innings, and an earned run average of 167. Good luck, Braves. A whip of under 1 as a team. And we showed you all the box scores for that. And they are in first place. It's going to be tough to catch them. They've already had 5 games or 4 games the first week where they got more than 10 hits. They got to be heading home relatively soon. A solid week on the road. Now, it's time to go through the Eastern Division leaders. Let's start with Montreal. The Expos had the National League opener in Cincinnati. You saw that game. They lost 6-1. And I forgot to change the names of things for that. So Denny Martinez did not pitch well. 6 hits through 5. Gave up the home run to Reggie Sanders. Sean Barry over for Montreal. That was a lone run. Jose Rio strikes out 11 there. And not much more you can say about that one. Then we got all the nicknames right. And the Expos took the field and did their job. Ken Hill, 7 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 all earned, walked 3, struck out 3, gave up a home run. But they just pounded Pugh, Spradlin, and yep, that's Jeff Reardon, fresh off his time in Boston. 2 innings there. They got some pop. The Shields, Vanderwall isn't too bad. Grissom and Walker. Who homered for the Expos? Grissom is first, Fletcher is first, Reggie Sanders hit homers in back-to-back days. The Expos, again, they got good speed. They're going to steal a ton of bases. Marquise Grissom had his first. I think where they're going to be weak is with their relief pitching. But when you shut out teams 2-0 like they did in the finale in that Cincinnati series, Chris Nabholz throws a 3-hitter. He walked 4 and struck out 4. They beat Tim Belcher and Benny Ilea. Grissom, in that Cincinnati series, hit .500. Did he steal any bases? Yeah, Walker and Cordero. With steals, Cordero is a horrible fielder. But he's got good speed and can get on base. So the Expos took 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati to go 2-1. And then they go to Denver to play the expansion Colorado Rockies and lose badly, 8-2. How the heck can you lose that bad to an expansion team? Butch Henry, 3 2/3, 12 hits, 6 runs, all earned a walk and 2 homers. Dante Bichette and Jones. It's not Charlie Jones. He was calling the games on KOA television. Ken Bottenfeld, a gem for Colorado. 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned. A walk and 5 strikeouts. He gave up the homer to Cordero. Expos didn't steal any bases. Jeff Fassero comes in 4 1/3 out of the pen. 3 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned. Who was the error? The Shields. And 6 Ks. Vinny Castilla is a shortstop. I'd forgotten that. So 2-2 start for Montreal, and they weren't feeling all that good after losing to an expansion team. I believe that was I don't think that was the home opener for the Rockies, but good for Colorado. And boy, did Montreal make them pay. The Humidor would be needed for the next 2 games. 12-9 was a Saturday game, and Kirk Reeder, 5 2/3, 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Mel Rojas got the hold, and Scott shows you why wins are a useless stat. He blew the save, 2 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, somehow got the win. John Wetland comes in and gives up a home run. It wasn't a save situation because it was 12-8. Blair, Wayne, Parent, and Holmes. The Rockies' pitching is not very good. Grissom drives in 4. Larry Walker, who will call Colorado is home eventually, will drive in 3. Who homered? There's 4 home runs for the Expos in the game. They had some power. Marquise Grissom hit 2. He has 3 on the young season. Larry Walker and Mike Lansing. I believe Lansing came in for Sean Barry, who got hurt. And then old friend Andres Galarraga pounded his second. Grissom and Cordero get their second steals of the year. And last but not least, again, they need to go home. There's a lot of offense in Colorado as they hold on to win 8-7. Denny Martinez, the ace of the staff, 1-1, 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He gave up a homer. And Scott Fassero comes in to get the hold. Fassero's going to need to go in the rotation at some point. And John Wetland locks down his first save. David Need, an expansion pitcher. The pitching for Colorado was bad. 1 home run apiece. Grissom is at 4 the first week. Galarraga had his 3rd for the Rockies. And do we have any steals? Yep, Grissom has 3 steals. I wonder if Grissom could actually do 40-40. I don't think he has the home run power to do it. And Joe Girardi got a steal. That's always great because he has a 3% chance of getting a jump, but if he does, he's got a 90% chance of stealing the base. That was awesome. So let's show you how they got there. 4-2 are the Expos. They can score. They've got, but they really can't pitch. 5.5 runs allowed. But enjoy these offensive statistics. As a team, they're hitting .296. Grissom 4 homers, 11 RBI, and 3 steals, and hitting .440. That's awesome. And 7 steals. The Expos are going to manufacture some runs and power some runs. Defensively, they are not good. 8 errors in 6 games. Again, Colorado, or being in Colorado with the ballpark effects on, is going to really screw with your pitching because you're just going to get everything. They did get a good start from Nabholz, obviously, and Ken Hill. Martinez, he's going to need to pitch better. And Reader's card isn't that bad. And then good luck with the rest of it. So, 52 innings and 63 hits. Oy vey. Here's the secondary stats. The pinch hitters didn't do anything. The Expos pitchers had 3 hits. And they bunted, no grand slams. They bunted 3 times. Marquise Grissom, .8 WAR for the week. That's pretty good. And Chris Nabholz with that shutout had a .08 too. Expos bullpen had 9 runners on base when they came in, and 6 in scoring position, and only 3 scored. That was Facero, and he came in an awful big hurry. So that's a pretty good thing. But the opponent batting average this week against Montreal was .301. That's not getting it done. They did crush left-handed pitching for a .364 clip. But righties hit those pitchers at a .317 clip. As far as defense is concerned, they didn't allow a base hit. All those 8 missed fielding chances were errors. Cordero's a 4 at short. DeShields is a better fielder than that. I think it's just a case of averages. And Vanderwall, I forget what he is. So not too shabby. Fletcher is a good catcher behind the plate. And actually threw out half the base runners. So he caught every game. Lansing got a couple appearances at third because Barry got hurt. So here's the detail. All this on the road. The 7 steals is good. The starting rotation ERA of 5.35 is not. And the bullpen has been okay, but the whip of 1.52 isn't going to get it done. And there's a breakdown of how their pitchers did. And we showed you the line scores. Overall, a good week. You'll take a 4-win week. And they are tied for first. We're not going to worry about the usage. And they got to be going home along with San Francisco. So last but not least, the Philadelphia Phillies. And they started their season at the Astrodome against Houston, and oh boy, Kurt Schilling didn't need the help. Schilling, a 5-hitter, striking out 7 and walking 3. Doug Drabeck, I forgot he was with Houston. He got nailed, and so did the rest of the pen. Only gave up the 1 home run to Jim Eisenreich, went 4 for 5 with 3 RBI. John Kruk is a ball player, 2 for 4 in the opener. And the Phillies They've got good speed at the top of their lineup with Dykstra, and oh, I just love the name. Every time that he comes to the plate, all I can think of is Harry Callis going, Mickey Morandini. He drove that voice all the way down. So a good opener for the Phils, 10-0 as they pound Houston at the Dome. They'd go on to sweep the Astros. They take the second game 5-2. Danny Jackson, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs. Both earned. He walked 5 and struck out 4. Pete Harnish did not have a bad game. John Kruk with a solo shot. Then Edens and Hernandez kind of gave up some runs late. Mitch Williams, oh my gosh, that card is scary and not in a good way. Larry Anderson, back from the Boston Red Sox, an inning and 2/3, struck out 3. The setup is pretty good. Williams, I mean, he really is Ricky Vaughn. He is a wild thing. And so if the Phillies have a huge question mark is, what do you do with Williams on the mound? Because he doesn't know where the ball's going. It's just going hard. Luis Gonzalez of the Astros went 3 for 3 in game 2. They didn't walk it off, but 1-11 in the third game of the series. Tommy Green, 7 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 3 and struck out 8. Gave up a homer. Mark Portugal struck out 10 through 8 for Houston. Doug Jones, that's a scary card, and poor Darryl Kyle. Walked 2, gave up a hit, and lost the ball game. De Leon picks up the win, and Williams, again, right now, is pretty good. Hasn't given up a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Pete Incavilla's on the bench. The computer doesn't want to use him all that much. Kruk 2 for 5. Hollins 2 for 3. He cannot run. Home run. There was one. It was Ken Caminiti. Dykstra and Biggio was stolen bases. So how is it in Eisenreich? Walk to us later. Incavilla drew a walk, and a balk was called, and then Lenny Dykstra singled on the winning run. So a good start on the road, and then we come home and lose 2 out of 3 to Chicago. I knew I'd played all the Cubs games. Willie Wilson is with the Cubs in 1993. I'd have lost a bar bet with that. Mike Harkey, 7 hits, 6 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Scanlon and Randy Myers. If the Cubs can get games to Myers, they could be dangerous because I think he saved 53, and that's awesome. Terry Mulholland, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run, I believe. It's either Sandberg or Sosa. Phillies do not homer. Darren Dalton, 3 for 4. He really was such a scrappy player. Mason and David West. Again, the Mets just gave up on these people so early. Out of the pan. Home run was Sammy Sosa. And Mickey Morandini with the stolen base. So they lose the home opener. And then lose an extras on the Saturday game. Juan Bautista or Jose Bautista, 5 2/3, 9 hits. Oh, I remember this one. 4 runs, all earned. He walked 2, struck out 5, and allowed a home run. And then the bullpen was pretty good. Scanlon, Bosky, McElroy, not Rory, and Randy Myers with the save. I tried to get Ben Rivera a complete game. He was cruising. It was 4-2. I left him in there too long. Mitch Williams gets credit for the blown save. It really wasn't his fault. I think he came in with the bases loaded, and they tied the ball game. David West, 2 strikeouts in 2 innings, and Mason gave up the hit. We'll go through and see why in a moment. Milt Thompson's a pretty good left fielder. He went 3 for 5. A very good game. Again, sometimes you try to get things. It's amazing how we do that because it really is just virtual pieces of paper. But Rivera earned the shot to get the complete game, and Uncle Ron blew it. Injury was to Ryne Sandberg. He got, I don't think he was hit by a pitch, but he rolled the injury, and so Eric Yielding came into play second. So after Uncle Ron blew it, Darren Dalton, by the way, the lone home run. Sammy Sosa and Jose Vizcaino with the steals. It was a 4-4 game after 9. Chicago wins it in the 12th. A walk to Yielding. Mark Grace came through, lined out a single. Then Derek May, a sac fly, and that was it. And again, I'm sorry, Philly fans. They say that every team wins 50, will win 50 and lose 50. The manager makes a difference for the other 62. So vindication on a Sunday, an easy 7-1 win for Curt Schilling, who goes 2-0. 5 hits, 9 innings, strikes out 5. The home run was Darren Dalton. And Lenny Dykstra stole the second base. Just a complete butt kicking from start to finish. 14 hits for the Phils. Mike Morgan, poor 0-2, did not pitch well at all. Plesac and McElroy finished it out. So there you go. That is all the games for the week. Let's show you the stats for the Phils. One and 2 at home, 3-0 on the road. They'll get those back. They can score. Here are their stats, and they can pitch too. 296 for the week. Eisenreich hitting 462. Dalton, 2 homers, 6 RBI. They do have some speed. Only 1 error on the week, and that's Morandini, who's not a great fielder, but Curt Schilling, 2 complete games and a shutout, an earned run average of .5. They pitched really, really well. They only gave up 42 hits. And there's two Williams. The other one is not Mitch. Mitch Williams, 3 games, 2 saves. Those stats look okay. We'll go through some cards in a moment. Again, David West is going to get some monster innings out of that pen, and the rest of the rotation's pretty good. Mulholland will pitch better, and again, I messed up Rivera. That's on me. Secondary stats. Dykstra and Eisenreich have 6-game hitting streaks, and the pitchers actually hit .211 for the week. Curt Schilling went 2 for 9. Here's the sabermetrics. When you bullpen came in with 6 runners on, only 1 scored, that's going to get you a lot. Eisenreich half a WAR, and Schilling with his 2 starts gets 1.4 WAR. So the Phillies, again, off to a fantastic start. Really behind Eisenreich's offense, but the National League hit 196 off the Phillies in the first week of the season. And here's the lefty-righty split. We had 33 X chances and 1 error. So 6 infield hits again. Morandini, still not bad, 10 for 12. I forget what that card is. He had the lone error. And only 3 steal attempts against the Phillies, and they all worked. And here's a traditional fielding. Philly starters went 47 innings in their 6 games. That's pretty good. And an earned run average of 268. You'll take that. Their bullpen was even better. 12 innings and an earned run average of .75. And a lot of 296s. They really did. That was symmetrical. They hit 296 against Chicago and 296 against Houston. Phillies pitchers have been good. And again, I kind of blew the 4-10 game, but they won easily 4-11. And they are tied for first. All right, let's go through the league stats real quick. We showed you, here's the overall standings, and again, I'm playing Philly, Montreal, San Francisco, and Atlanta. And so the league leaders, Galarraga hit 571 for the week. Marquise Grissom, 4 homers. Ron Gant, 12 RBI. John Kruk draws 7 walks. Bobby Bonilla do true intentional walk. I will throw them. I'm not a huge fan of the IBB. Dave Holland struck out 10 times. Poor Sean Barry got hit twice. Vince Coleman, 5 steals for the Mets. Corey Steiner is a 7-game hitting streak. Mark Grace, among others, was 6. We'll just leave these up here. Andres Galarraga had a monster week. You know, it's amazing. These stats that you see here pretty much is the same report from when I first bought this game in 1991. Schilling and Tewksbury, 2-game winners. Morgan, Smith, Trebeck, and Swift, 2-game losers. Again, much too early to draw much of anything from this. Brian Harvey, the closer for Florida. It was amazing in 1991 when I started doing this, and it did all the hard work. And put it in the databases, and it took seconds. So here's the grand totals. Montreal and Philly hitting 296. Wow. San Francisco 269, Atlanta dead last at 199. The league hit 257 the opening week of the season. ERA 384 for the league. San Francisco and Philadelphia 1 and 2, 173 and 229. Atlanta 436. You'll know that will get better. And Montreal 502. You know that will get better. What a bad week for the Reds. 1 and 5 with a 5.82. Grand totals. Again, pause these if you want it there. Fielding chances, 70% chance that they made it the out. The Mets bullpen has not stopped anybody. Atlanta's inherited runner scored 375, which is not great. Montreal 333, Philadelphia 167, and San Francisco 200. Atlanta did not intentionally walk anybody. I did walk someone from Montreal, and Philly I walked too. How about that? San Francisco I did not. Atlanta had an outfield assist, and so did San Francisco. The Rockies 9 errors, and Montreal 8. So the manager profile. So with Atlanta, I tried 8 steals, made 6. 1 bunt, did not hit and run. Let's see. I can tell you Chicago since I did all those games. 2 out of 3 steals, 1 bunt, and 1 advanced on a hit and run. People have asked before whether I like to hit and run or not. I think it depends on the situation. Montreal, 7 for 7 on steals, 2 for 3 for bunts. I did a squeeze. Yes, I did, and it worked. Hit and run. Montreal is a good team to do that with. We tried it twice. Got a hit, advanced the runner both times. Philly, 3 attempted steals, 2 bunts, and a hit and run attempt that did not work. And San Francisco, 3 steals, 3 bunts, and a hit and run attempt. Board game breakdown. So there were 60 home run chances, 25 left the yard. 135 single chances and 49 found there. We had 1 clutch hit that belonged to the Mets, given up by the Astros, and 7 clutch outs. Pitcher tired, did not give up a hit. Infield in gave up 2 hits, and runners hold gave up 10. And so to start the next week, looks like, yep, Florida goes to San Francisco to start the week. Cincinnati goes to Philadelphia. Chicago goes to Atlanta, so I'm going to play some more Cubs baseball, and I'm not seeing the Expos there. So there you go in a nutshell. How long did this take? Wow. All right, well, I'm Ron Zucker. Thank you so much for watching. When I finish the next week, so certainly won't be any time in the near future. We're just doing this 1 week at a time. My plan is to do the entire season, and we'll do recaps like this. So that was how I did the first week of the 1993 National League season. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you the next time. So long, everybody.